Gentlemen, it is time. Tennessee's losing streak is a thing of the past. It's Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime, presented by Marcos Garza, the Garza Law Firm. Gillespie with 23, and Tennessee tonight. Tennessee absolutely reigns supreme this evening in a game where the star freshman guard from Louisville the Brown kid was not able to take the court tonight, and Tennessee smothered Louisville and never looked back, rolling tonight, 83-62. We have an all-star cast and crew in the house this evening, moving right to left across your device. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands, meet and greet. Brian Hartman, how we doing? Brian Hartman, how we doing?
Here I am. We're Louisville doing better than Louisville's doing right now.
Alex Myers, how we doing?
Couldn't be much better after that one, Tom.
TGMD, how we doing?
Much needed win and a desperation spot at home.
No question. And Tennessee, from the very outset of the game, came out and took Louisville's game away from them. First of all, they were physical with them on defense. They pushed them out. They never let them get comfortable. And the other thing they didn't let them do is do a lot of the inside-out basketball that they play. So Tennessee basically bullied this team tonight. Ran into a little bit of a kind of a dry spell at the end of the first half, but in the second half came out, shot the ball very well, and took control of the game. But at one point, 6:30 to play in the game, it was 27-19 Vols. They stretched their lead out. 6:30 to play in the half. 22 of Tennessee's first 27 points came in the paint. Several were layups and or dunks. And guys, that was the difference, Matt. I thought Tennessee had a great plan coming out after that long break.
Yeah, they did, and they just kind of pushed Louisville around, dominated them inside. Just kind of scored at will there, especially with Carey in the first half. And, really kind of just like last year's game, Louisville was just totally overmatched and couldn't keep up with Tennessee's physicality. They couldn't shoot the ball very well.
Nope.
I think both teams wound up making the same number of threes, Tennessee in like half the attempts. Tennessee, I think they were plus 12 in the paint, plus 31 off the bench, plus 7 at the free throw line, and they were even plus 12 in fast break points. Just a total domination. Obviously, the freshman point guard being out played a huge role in that, but easily we'll probably look back, and this will be Tennessee's maybe one of their 2 or 3 most complete games of the year. And come March, the selection committee is not going to remember that Louisville's point guard was out tonight. So it's going to be a very impressive win that holds up throughout the season. But you just kind of dominated a team that likes to spread you out and shoot threes, and McNeely really struggled. And Louisville just has nothing in the front court.
No, as we were told today by our guest from the Courier-Journal, who in fact picked Tennessee to win the game for that reason. He just thought Tennessee would come out as sort of a rabid dog tonight and attack Louisville, and that's exactly what they did. As Tennessee rolls the cards tonight, we'll go to the phones if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us. As Tennessee rolls the cards, they dealt the cards a blow, didn't they? But I just thought early on that game's won in the first half. It was a great game plan. They never. Well, there were no adjustments to make.
There was
Brian.
4 shot clock violations by Louisville.
It's amazing.
4 of them, I think.
It was amazing.
At least 2 of them were out of media timeouts too.
Yeah.
I think deep into the second half, only 3 Louisville players had scored in the game.
Twice now.
And only 4 had made field goals.
Yeah, twice
with about
now.
10 minutes to go in the game.
Twice now, guys, Louisville's gotten shoved around by bigger SEC teams. So that'll be an issue for them. Not right now, but it'll be an issue if they want to advance and play deeply. They've got to figure out a way to counteract that, as they only shot 38% from the field. Tennessee shot 55% from the field. I'm going to go ahead and go to the phones without further ado. It's Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. We're going to get as many people in here as humanly possible, and we'll start things off with our first call. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys? Josh,
Wings.
Me and the great Artemis were in the house tonight for that game.
Let's go.
How about those Tennessee Volunteers?
Wasn't that a great win, man?
Yeah, it was. Like I told you yesterday, Tony, back against the wall, we're going to respond at home with a win.
Yeah, and it certainly helped matters tonight, them not having their point guard, as Matt said.
Yeah. Was he a late-game scratch?
Yeah, you know what? We had our Louisville guest on. Guys, I wonder if that's one of the reasons why that number fell the way it did. I wonder if word leaked out from their camp, Matt. Because we did not know that at midday when we were on the air.
But that makes sense.
Yes, it
that
does
the
make
line
sense.
Jumped that much just kind of overnight with that news. That obviously
somebody
made its way to bettors.
Somebody got their ear whispered in.
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
No, somebody got their ear whispered in is my point.
Because it jumped from Louisville was a favorite to Tennessee 2.5, 3.5.
That's right.
Whenever he was announced out.
Yeah, a 4-point swing like that's wild, Josh. But go ahead. You're fired up. No, you go ahead, man.
Yeah. So, guys, I'm going to make a comparison. Jalen Carey, he kind of reminds me of a Draymond Green. He hustles every play and just monster on the boards, just making a difference off the bench. What do you guys think?
What do you guys think of Carey's output? This is not what we saw from Carey early on in the year. The last couple times we've seen Carey, the Syracuse game and tonight, that's the Jalen Carey that Tennessee wanted. And that's the Jalen Carey that Tennessee needs, guys. He was really good tonight. What'd you think of him, Alex, tonight? 10 boards in the game. He gave the Vols a real lift. At the end of the first half, he had 6 straight at one point when they went on a run. And he was really good tonight. Jalen Carey with 12 on the evening. Al, what do you think of Carey's output?
He's a kind of a tone setter, and not just Akpara down low on defense helps, but just little plays. A kind of a total Rick Barnes guy underneath. Whereas, I think late in the game was already over. He had a couple opportunities, missed, got his own rebound, just ripped it out of the guy's hands and put it back up. And the game was over, but it was just kind of a subtle reminder of hey, this is Rick Barnes basketball. And one thing that I like about Carey, Tony, is he brings something to the team on a team that has just a plethora of big men down low. He brings something and a skill set and a physicality that really no one else brings in his body type and just how he plays kind of below the rim, but still very effective. And I really like the development that has happened over the last 2 or 3 games with Carey.
2 points out the door, Tony. What really surprised me, the McNeely kid we tried to get, 2 for 10 from the floor tonight, but credit Tennessee's defense tonight. They were all over him.
Yep.
And out the door, Nate Ament, 45% from the field. Get it in your pop and smoke it, Nega Dave.
865-200-5402. Brian, what'd you think of Ament tonight? 13 in the game, 5-11 for the field, 2 of 4 from three-point land. Had some uneven stuff happen early on. Looks like he needs to get stronger, but still very skilled.
Yeah, he definitely had the ball taken from him a few times, but he got settled in when Gillespie started making some shots. I think he got more comfortable too in the second half, and that I think that's what sparked the Vols to the win. And one thing that I just don't think, you talk about Carey, I don't believe him leading the team in scoring is what they want or what they need. I don't think that's something that's going to win you games. I think Carey is going to be an option, but I don't think he needs to be the leading scorer. Gillespie and Ament one of them has to take that role. I think both of those guys is who they need, and that's when the game opened up in their favor, that's what happened in the second half. Those guys caught fire in that stretch, so that's why they were able to pull away. And the fact that they were up 7.5 with everything that seemed to be going against them was a pretty good sign, I thought.
We go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. Hello and welcome in to our next call. You're on the air. Hi.
Tony, it's Zachariah from E-Town.
Hey, Zach, welcome in, buddy.
Knox Vegas, walking by Hodges here.
Nice.
Yeah, man. It was a beautiful team effort. I hadn't got to listen to the show so far, but we saw some Barnes ball tonight.
Oh, boy, he smoked him with that defense. They smothered that poor team. They didn't know what hit them, did they?
That little spurt where we went on a 9-2 run, that reminded me of some early season ball and some of the stuff we saw last year. I mean, it just felt like an old school Tennessee game.
There's no question about it, and it's much needed. But they definitely had a great scout on those guys, and they smothered Louisville.
As far as the quality of wins, we're kind of walking quick, but
you're fine.
As far as quality of wins, this is going to be. I mean, Louisville is they're top 10. I mean, they're pretty solid in the ACC right now, right?
Oh, they're excellent. Yeah, they're a team that's got Final Four ability. They're probably they'll probably track toward 3 or 4 seeds, something of that sort. Yeah, that's a very good win by the Vols.
What do you think of this stat line by Amari Evans? 3 for 3 shooting, 7 points, 5 fouls.
Played really hard, right?
I like
really
watching
hard.
that guy play.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like you can have somebody to go in there and get physical. Again, we had some goofy lineups, but whatever they did, I don't know if Louisville just wasn't ready, but that was a beautiful effort, and I'm glad we drove down. And I just want to call in and give a big go Vols! Ha ha, hee hee, ho ho.
Thank you, my brother.
Evans put the exclamation point on the game.
Yeah.
I think he put the final exclamation point. He said when they got within 12, I think he hit a 3, and then he hit a basket where he banked it in from the top of the free throw line or something, and he just said, "No, you're not coming back on us tonight. Game's over." He said game.
Evan's stat
I thought
line,
that was pretty big for him.
Evan's stat line's nuts in the game, okay? He finishes with 7 points. He's 3 of 3 from the field. He hits the 3 ball Brian's talking about. He has this scoring spell. Hey, Matt, he fouls out. You know how many minutes a guy played, Matt? You want to take a stab at it?
I ached at 8 or 10, probably.
7 minutes.
10.
5 fouls in 7 minutes. Who was the guy we used to have that they would throw in the game and he would get 2 fouls immediately a few years back?
Willie Carmichael.
Thank you very little.
Who I think wound up playing at Louisville.
Let's
actually.
Go. Let's go.
No, I thought it set the tone early when Louisville was really selling the contact and drawing some offensive fouls on some of Tennessee's players on some of those screens where they were just kind of flopping and getting the benefit of the doubt. Like that was an early kind of sign to me that they knew they were kind of cooked before the game, because that was obviously part of their game plan. And a Pat Kelsey team typically plays with an edge, and for them to be doing that multiple times was kind of an early warning to me that they didn't think they were going to be able to compete tonight.
And the body language kind of told you that. The other thing the thing I thought was key in the game in the first half, and when Tennessee really opened it up, is they didn't let them at all inside with the ball. I mean, at all. In fact, Louisville turns the ball over 5 times in the first 10 minutes, which really is when Tennessee set the mold for the game. And the Vols had they had a 21-9 lead. I'm tracking it here with 16 points coming from inside, but they didn't let Louisville get anything, and I mean anything, easy. It was a much-needed win for the team. Snaps a 3-game losing streak. All that good stuff. Now you can start another winning streak with some of these Crip games in front of us, and that's just a big win. Just a great team win.
Without their best player, if it's a close game, you can probably say, hey, well, if they had their best player. But when you blow them out like that, it kind of makes you think, well, maybe Brown wouldn't have made that big of a difference.
And as Matt said earlier, you're not going to know in March. Like, nobody's going to know, nobody on Selection Sunday, because Louisville's going to go off and have a real nice year. They have a really good club. They stay healthy, in the ACC, they're going to win a bunch of games, and they're going to play at the top of the sport. And so that's a win that's going to age like fine wine. It really is. Tennessee's real.
I think another.
Go ahead, Al.
Well, I was going to say, I think a big turning point in the game for me,
yeah,
where I kind of felt kind of comfortable for the first time was probably the last 2.5, 3 minutes or so of that first half. Tennessee had been kind of having a 6-8 point lead. Mm-hmm. Louisville hits a couple shots, and with Ament and Gillespie out of the game with 2 fouls each, it kind of felt like, as a fan, I'm sitting there going, okay, they're getting ready. Tennessee's led this whole first half. They're getting ready to tie this thing up or take a lead right before halftime, and we're in trouble because they haven't played well, and they're going to be up.
That's right. Not
having played well. And Tennessee, a couple of reserve guys come in and hit a couple of shots, and they push it back out to, I think, 6. And it just kind of made me feel like, hey, that was kind of a low-key big moment in the ball game, just how Tennessee closed out after Louisville kind of landed a punch there late.
And that was Berg and that was Abrams that hit those shots. I think Abrams hit one off the glass of a break situation.
Yes.
And I think that was big. That was huge. And Berg got a bucket there to sort of keep the lead, keep them at arm's length, and then before the second half takeover.
But I love Berg's driveway 3-ball that he hit falling out of bounds was phenomenal. Guy looks like somebody playing in your driveway out there in Oak Ridge, Al. Bino says he looks like one of those church league players from the old church he used to go to at Spurgeon Chapel, where he's out there.
I know exactly what he's talking about. Hey, and it's speaking of things that don't look like they belong on a college basketball court. I don't know if y'all are peeping this Arkansas Queens game. It's a total blowout.
Let's peep.
But Calipari's got this checkered plaid just suit on.
Yes.
And the Queens coach has a ugly Christmas sweater that has a picture of a present sewn onto it, and it says Gangsta, Gansta, Gangsta Rapper.
Yes, let's go.
Present rapper.
Hello and welcome into our next call. 2 let's goes out of me. Hi, you welcome in. It's Garza.
I love that freshman point guard for Arkansas.
Garza,
that dude's really, really good.
You know why Flan's not there. Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Good to talk to you.
Well, it's a good win. Needed it. Kerry can't be on the court in a tight game late in games.
Why?
Because he can't hit free throws.
Our whole team, our whole team leaves a little to be desired from the foul line at times. So,
well, you got to get the right guys to the line. Ament and Gillespie are your best, and that 77.
Yes,
are your best percentage.
Yes,
free throw shooters.
Yes.
I guess JP Estrella's a pretty good free throw shooter too, but Kerry's he's a Mason. But
it's
a good win. Didn't have to sweat out anything.
Nope.
Led wire to wire. So should have 2 good games. I'm not, 2 easy wins the next couple games on the way to Arkansas.
And we open on the road with those Arkansas guys that Matt thinks is the best team in the league. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I still think this team's going to struggle away from home.
Sure they will. They
just can't. They just don't have any shooters.
No, we saw that tonight. I mean, when you force the Vols to play in the half court and don't give them easy stuff, and they've got to create points in the half court, it's a struggle for them.
I just don't. I don't know what other caller calls in and talks about the playing the 2 bigs, the spacing.
Yeah,
but it's just really poor, and I just don't know why he is playing. Did he play Akpara and Estrella at the same time tonight?
Guys, anybody notice
he played
that?
Terry and Estrella some.
Yeah, he did.
They actually did well together.
Well, now I don't know. Here's the thing about it: you can play those 2, and then you can pop Estrella out on the top of the key, on top of the 3-point line. He's more than capable of hitting 3-pointer. But you can't have both those guys down there clogging up the lane. what it does, it just drags your offense. I mean, you dribble, and that's what Gillespie was doing a lot tonight. Was just dribble, and it didn't have a choice. But it's part of the reason for that is the spacing is just horrible.
But Dave, it was a good win because you don't sound like you're saying.
Oh, it's a great win.
It doesn't sound like you're saying positive things about it. That's all. I'm just.
Oh, great win. I'm just pointing out some other stuff.
Yeah.
Had to have it. I mean, let me tell you something. You've had callers say, "Oh, these games in November and December don't mean anything." Of course, they mean everything. When you're playing these ranked teams, out of conference teams in November, December, it helps your seeding in March.
It means everything. Tonight's a huge
means
win.
everything. You can't just you have to win some of these games.
You got to win.
I mean, that's why the Missouris of the world who don't play anybody
right
end up being a 10 seed.
That's exactly right.
Even when they go 10-8 in conference play.
And they deserve it. They have what's coming to them because they don't play a schedule. And
right, you've got to play these games, and you have to win your share, and they did tonight. And they beat Houston, so they've got two good out of conference wins.
So give me something positive, Dave, to take away. Besides that we won, give me something that stood out to you that was positive tonight.
I thought Ament played a really good second half. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Dave. That's good. Matt, that was like Kacinko will be with me tomorrow. That was like pulling teeth trying to get that out of him, Matt.
Yeah, but you could just hear the joy in his voice. He was really pumped for the win. I'm glad. I'm at least glad he called in.
That went up my nose.
I'm surprised. I thought Tennessee dominated too much for him to call in, but
fizzy.
The poor foul shooting gave him an opening.
Some oxygen, right? Something fizzy just went up my nose.
20-point wins over Louisville, home and away.
Oh, yeah, imagine. I mean, back in the day, we would have taken any win against a blue blood like Louisville. Now we've got two straight 20-point wins against them, and Dave's on here ripping them.
Do you remember those 3 years in a row?
Of course I do.
Peterson teams dominated for 35 minutes
and got beat.
Then inexplicably lost to Louisville.
Yes.
There was no Reese Gaines or Francisco Garcia out there tonight.
Really, really great win tonight.
And Kentucky wasn't their opponent either.
Great team victory for the Vols. More calls after this.
We'll get you back to the action
here momentarily on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza and your Garza Law Firm online at garzalaw.com. Your go-to law firm, whether it's DUI defense, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security, disability, or any of a myriad of subjects. When you run afoul or when you need a great lawyer, you don't want to trust just anyone. You need the Garza Law Firm. Treating East Tennesseans, hundreds and hundreds strong, like family. The most trusted and competent folks in the biz. Available 24/7 at garzalaw.com. Shout out to our friends at T3 Vodka. Score a T3 every time this basketball season with Tennessee's premium vodka. Handcrafted with passion and precision. And a whole lot of volunteer state love. Right in the majesty of the Great Smoky Mountains. Filtered 10 times, 80 proof, delivering a smoothness unmatched, a dedication to excellence. You got to try it and see why T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka, 2025 SITS Consumer Choice Medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, or mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 is the way to go. Score a T3 every time with T3 Vodka, distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Shout out to Waterside Contracting. Maybe you have a dream about buying some land. My friends at Waterside will take incredible care of you. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. Hundreds in our area. Whether it's custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. Check out the website, watersidecontractingllc.com. And when it's time for a fresh coat, you better run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999 all across your Knoxville area. New construction repaints and commercial with and residential as well. Free estimates available. Mention you heard about it right here on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. 10% off your first job. Let's go. Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting, 865-688-1410. And while we're on the subject, how about if we raise the roof for VIP players? Should we say paint the place VIP green? Your first $20 bet, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code, the phrase that pays, TN Tony, live always. All the round ball you can possibly gamble on, men's or women's, anywhere around the world. 200 leagues, live always, numerous bet types, props, options. They've got you covered. Check them out at VIP Play. If you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over. Located in the great state of Tennessee. To place a bet. Easy for me to say. Shout out to our friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Alan and WeShipFloors.com. Based out of Johnson City, selling worldwide. I'm talking about the Supercore floor. I'm talking about go over to WeShipFloors.com, drop in photo of your room, and you'll be able, ladies and gentlemen, with the room visualizer, to check out any of the 120 Supercore floors. Drop them right in there. Order a free sample today. Tell Alan we sent you. He's a huge Vol fan. He might be listening or watching over on YouTube right now. And if you are, Alan, shout out. And thanks for the support. How many times am I going to say shout out in this break? I don't know, because we're shouting out WeShipFloors.com. That's WeShipFloors.com. And now let's get back to the Super Show. It's Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. And I was asking Negative to give me something positive, and then I'm going to ask Alex Myers for something positive. We're going to ask our cast and crew here tonight as we go for something positive. But go ahead, Al, and then we go back to our phones. On Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime, as the Vols roll Louisville tonight like a joint cigarette. This game was over, 10-minute mark of the first half. Louisville got closer, cut it to like 6. And then the Vols stretched it back out right before the half, but it was a 7-point halftime lead. But at the end of the day, did you really feel like the Vols were in trouble? No, not really. Alex, give me your positive here.
Yeah, this is to me the second best I've felt about this team since the season begun. Only second to the Houston after the Houston game. I just thought Tennessee did so many things well, but I think in the second half, one thing I liked really, and I've pushed for it all season, is I think Tennessee, especially given their inability to score and their kind of tendency to go dry at times in the half court, I've been pushing for this team to really get out and run. And I think Nate Ament has a chance to be incredibly effective, not only as a scorer, but as a passer. He's just such a mismatch. And when he gets in transition between him and Gillespie, I just think that they can be really dangerous when they can get out and run. And I thought in the start of that second half, although Ament wasn't really a big part of it, Gillespie really, I don't know if it was 3 in a row, but it felt like it if it wasn't. It wasn't true fast breaks, but it was Tennessee, even after a made basket, they would get the ball out, and Gillespie would just fly down the court, kind of trailing a Carey or one of the big men that had kind of cleared out the lane, and Louisville's guards just weren't getting back in time. And it's just a small little stretch there, but I really felt like it helped give Gillespie some confidence. It kind of opened things up, and it just, to me, it was something that I thought, hey, I want to see more of this. I've been asking for it all year, and I think that that's a way that Tennessee can kind of combat those dry spells. Is they've got to, if they want to have the ceiling that I think they can have, they got to find ways to get out in transition more throughout the year, and that was one of my favorite things I saw tonight.
Really well put out. And the other thing is, from a Tennessee perspective, not only did you create easy points tonight, you also scored a lot of buckets around the goal early on, but you also made it as difficult as possible on Louisville and made them completely uncomfortable. That's the Tennessee basketball team that we're used to seeing. They were really good on defense tonight, really good. As we go back to our phones and get our next call in, it's Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing today?
Hey, William. Welcome in, buddy.
For once, I actually feel happy.
Right on, William. Good to hear you happy.
I mean, what a phenomenal game it was today.
It's wild, William. It was a great game, buddy. Are you fired up, focused, prepared right now?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
After beating Louisville, who's 9-1, now 9-2, yeah.
Yep. As one of our commenters says over here on YouTube, and Matt, it bears repeating, the truth is this is a completely new basketball team, and you can tell these guys are still learning each other. But it looks like they've taken a step, Matt, in that, didn't it, tonight? It looked like they were more cohesive on both ends of the floor tonight.
Yeah, they were just really dialed in. Obviously, that desperation spot, they had a lot of motivation, and we had talked about it on the Daily Show about just the matchup and how Louisville liked to get out and run and shoot a bunch of threes, and really Tennessee kind of for a lot of portions of the game, Tennessee played the game at Louisville's pace and beat them doing it. So it was really impressive. You're finding some things, and you're still using your deep bench and playing a bunch of guys, which at some point in league play you're going to cut that down. But this is really the first time under Barnes that he's been doing this late in the year, where you're legitimately playing 10 or 11 guys, more than just a breather minute or two here or there.
Hey, William, when I say a name, you count it, because Matt's got a good point, William. I want you to count. Alrighty, I say a name, you count it. You ready? Gillespie.
1.
Boswell.
2.
Brown.
3.
Amen.
4.
Akpara.
5.
Evans.
6.
Estrella.
7.
Carey.
8.
Henderson.
9.
Berg.
10.
Abram. That's the number of guys
11.
who played tonight, at least 6 minutes in the game. Your low man in terms of minutes played is Henderson. Evans fouled out with 7 minutes played. How many guys played 11? Did you count 11?
Yes.
Let's go, man. And Matt, you bring up a great point, and Al brought it up too, and one of our callers brought it up. They are still playing some weird combinations. I guess it would have been Zach and E-Town. They still have some funky combinations going, but it's almost like the coaches themselves are used a game like tonight to say, okay, let's get a look at some different people together. It's almost like they're all still trying to find their way, Matt, here, I guess is my point.
Yeah, which is something that Barnes' team's just you haven't needed because you've been veteran led and you didn't have this kind of depth. I mean, that Grant and Admiral team, they literally played like 7.5 guys.
That's right.
With Fulke and Yves Pons, who were like sophomores and barely contributing. So you finally have some depth and you're taking advantage of it.
Great to see Fulke in the house tonight. Go ahead. Somebody gonna say something? William, was that you? Go ahead, William.
Well, no, I was just gonna say.
I thought that was William. Go ahead, Al.
No, I don't love big, huge rotations like this, but I would challenge, and it's another kind of thing I took away from a positive standpoint. I would challenge anyone to tell me. Typically, in games like this, you say, "Well, why is so and so playing?" Or like it's time for them to realize he's not a factor. I would challenge anyone to tell me a guy who played tonight that you didn't come out of this game thinking better of them from. Even a guy like Henderson stepped up and hit a 3 in the second half. A guy like Berg, who I'm like, I don't know if he's athletic enough to play. He makes a few shots. He played well in his spots.
Yeah.
Abrams, who's kind of gone in and out. One of the callers, Dave, somebody mentioned it earlier, he had a few big key buckets and key moments. I mean, every single player, no matter how many minutes or how few minutes, everyone contributed in their own way, and I thought that was a really, really good thing.
Anything else for us, William? You're jamming on the one over here, man.
The only thing I got to say left is go Vols.
William, you're my man in Fort Oglethorpe. What do they do with Lake Winnie at this time of the year? They turn that into a Christmas attraction, like over at Smokies Park in downtown Knoxville, or they close it down?
I think they're going to open this summer. I think they're closed for the winter.
You're my man, William. Love you. Always good hearing from William. Let's get our next call in. It's Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza, your Garza Law firm. Shout out to Andy Kofer of the firm. He was in the house tonight. Saw him styling and profiling with Hunter Ensley. Also, it's great seeing John Fulkerson back in the house tonight. Folky Cole Medina. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tom. It's Jack.
Hey, Jack. Welcome in, buddy.
I want to apologize. I wasn't at the game tonight. Appreciate y'all getting in here and breaking it down.
Mm-hmm.
Had a Christmas party over at the prison. But I just wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Same to you, my brother.
Go Vols.
That's it. Merry Christmas and go Vols. 865-200-5402. Do what now?
Well,
Jack from Wartburg, he said he was at the prison. He called from Brushy.
Yep. I love Jack from
Merry
Wartburg.
Christmas anyway, Jack. Wherever you are.
Love me some Jack from Wartburg. We get ready to go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. Tennessee shoots 55% to Louisville's 38%. Louisville was never in the game. You know who looked really uncomfortable tonight out there, Matt, was Isaac McNeely. 2 games in a row for him. We asked Louisville's writer about him today, the guy we had on. He said, no, he just was missing his shots. The last time out against Memphis, he was a non-factor in that game. They had 99 points over the weekend with Memphis, and he only had 2. And he was 0 for 3 from 3. And tonight, Isaac McNeely didn't get a ball to go in till late. He played 34 minutes in the night. He had 5 points. He was 2 of 10 from the field, 1 of 7 from three-point land, and only had 1 rebound. I mean, he was brutal in that basketball game for the level of skill that he has. But Tennessee took away a lot of what they want to do. And, look, I'm not going to make excuse for Louisville because there are no excuses, but obviously them not having Mikael Brown out there to facilitate things. I'd have loved to have seen the game played with Tennessee's game plan if Brown's on the floor. It would have been Tennessee still wins this game, but it would have been probably a little more interesting. As it was, Tennessee boat raced these guys, blew them out, put it on them. As 865-200-5402. Again, 865-200-5402. Let's go back to our phones and get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
What's up, Tona? Boys, Bobby.
Hey, welcome in, brother.
Man, what a fun atmosphere. Won some tickets from Russ today. Got to go over there with the wife and kids. Really, really fun.
Oh, that's
Great
awesome,
atmosphere.
man.
I will say, if I can just say, I'm not here to crap on the fans because I don't think it's the fans, but you guys noticed since Danny Upcharge has started hammering people that it's not quite as raucous.
Well, that's generally what happens. Yeah, that's generally what happens. You chase people. You chase out the folks that are going to make noise, yes.
Tony, I think claiming a sellout when there was easily 1,000 seats still available, if not more, is kind of ridiculous as well. Again, I'm just getting the bad stuff out of the way before the good stuff. Is that stupid to you?
No, Danny's just an optics guy. I don't want to get into that. But, yeah, he's Mr. Optics.
The optics are pretty bad when you say it's a hard sellout and there's 1,000 to 2,000 seats wide open in the uppers. Like, hundreds and hundreds gaggled together. Anyways, I just thought we absolutely overpowered them in every sense of the word. They had less than 0 chance against us tonight, which surprised me to no end. What are your thoughts on that?
They had 0 chance, yeah. That was never a basketball game. It never felt like a game. That's my read on it. Matt, it looked like Louisville was out of sorts from the very first time out through the entire game. They just never felt like they were in the game to me, Matt.
No, it just kind of picked up where last year's left off, where you just overwhelmed them early with physicality and your presence inside, and they have no answer to that.
And Pat Kelsey,
when you can keep them from scoring in transition and make get difficult looks from 3, I mean they don't really have a counter to that.
I thought Jimmy Dykes called an excellent game tonight. He's one of the things he said was that Pat Kelsey was telling them leading up to the game today. He said, these guys are going to be this Tennessee team. They come through every screen, everything you do, and that's exactly what happened tonight. The Vols ran them over.
And
another thing,
the
Conwell
Vols,
kid.
Said,
I'm sorry, Tony.
What was it, Bry?
They said Jimmy Dykes said that Tennessee talks to the ball. That's a new term he came up with.
God.
Talking to the ball.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Whatever that means.
Tony, the one thing I noticed is, had that Conwell kid actually come here, because I know we were pretty hot on him, had he actually come here, we would be a Final Four team, because he's a legit scorer. That's maybe something that we're starting to find. But it's funny, we're scoring through the front court, which I never thought I would see a Rick Barnes team do again after, was that Chris Ogden? I think it was his name. After Ogden left here and went to UTSA, I think at the time, that was Barnes' big man guy who would train him up. I never thought we'd play through the post ever again, but that is exactly what this team's doing. And if they do that, and they can just have a little bit of shooting from the outside, and Bishop Boswell, for whatever he is and isn't offensively, he's the best defender on the court every time he steps on it right now, and that's healthy for this team. I think this team can make a little bit of a run, and I think they proved tonight that they can punch above their weight pretty heavily. Because I don't think the crowd was just overwhelmingly putting Louisville out of the game. I think Tennessee just came out and beat their ass. See you.
Thank you. And by the way, the point you make is a real interesting one about Boswell, because he took a couple of hits tonight. I thought that second one should have been called when he took a blow to the head. What'd you all think? Barnes, that pissed Barnes off when he didn't get that call.
Yeah, and they looked at it and said they still called a foul on him.
Yeah.
They challenged it, and well, I mean that's rough.
The other thing
it's a game with Pat Adams. He's going to get front and center at some point, and they did that a couple of times.
Yeah, they did.
Made their presence known even in a blowout.
He likes to shake his bonbon on national television. The best thing is no more reviews with those idiots.
And the game still took nearly 2.5 hours.
It's incredible. By the way, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, Louisville, their body language suggested they wanted to be out of there by 8 o'clock.
It was awful.
The way they came out.
They had zero interest in being there. The Conwell kid played, the Woolley kid played, and everybody else said, screw this. We don't feel like being here. Okpara, guys, has really developed a little bit of offensive game, Matt. Isn't that kind of scary? How nice of a job they've done developing him. He's an okay offensive player now.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to run any offense through him, but outside of some lobs. But yeah, I mean, if he gets you those 8 to 12 points a game,
yeah,
and the defense is obviously the big part of it.
Oh wow,
but yeah, he's been pretty solid.
He was so intimidating tonight defensively. As we go back,
him and Carey what Carey can do well, Okpara really can't, and what Okpara can do well, Carey really can't. They complement each other perfectly.
As we go back to our phones and get our next call in, hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, man, this is Kevin in Muletown. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Kev, welcome in. Beautiful Columbia.
Hey, man, Rick Barnes has a history of developing these kids. I mean, every time these fans want to give up on a kid, he can't score. Then the next year, you're like, this dude's shot looks totally different. It seems like he has a history of that with a lot of players.
You're right.
But and when you got Doug Shows and Pat Adams on the call, it should come with like a warning or some PSA or something. It's pathetic. Let's go to the monitor. Just a terrible game, I thought, referees, and we still, kicked that ass. But Rick Barnes, he coached circles around the Louisville coach tonight. Coached circles. And I just wanted your thoughts on that. And it seems like when we play a team, that Louisville team reminds me of Alabama.
Yes, they do.
It's shoot the three or do or die.
Yep.
And we always seem to shut those types of teams down from shooting the three, shut them down, and we out physical them. And I just thought that was just a typical out coaching. So just going to hang up and listen. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, my man. The thing Tennessee did is they just never let that team get comfortable, and they did not let them do the inside-outside stuff, which is how they run their offense. It was a great game plan to get up on that point guard and just not even let them enter. They were talking to the ball, as Brian said earlier. He said that Jimmy Dykes said that, talking to the basketball. They were talking to the ball tonight. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air. Let's get our next call in.
Hey, guys. It's Pete in St. Louis. How we doing?
Hey, Pete. Good to talk to you.
Listen, I'm curious. That's a great schedule that they put together for before starting conference play. Essentially, we went 3-2 against top opponents. If you count the Duke exhibition, not as good. But I just never felt like we were really ever out of any of those games and were competitive at all. Looking at the SEC, other teams, how they've played to this point, how do we match up based on what we know about our team today to what we've seen out of those other teams?
Matt Dixon, if you were to put, where is Tennessee in the pecking order right now in your mind?
I think you're probably somewhere between like maybe 3 and 6.
That's where I'd say.
That's
exactly.
I think Arkansas is pretty good. Alabama's going to be good, but you've had success against them. Florida's going to be solid, but I don't know how March good they are because they don't have the guards. And I've not seen Vandy play, so I know that they're kind of the metrics darling right now and have been really, really, really good offensively, but I just haven't seen them play. But you're definitely top 4 or 5 in the league,
which is a good position to be in, and then getting into March, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, tonight's game's a big win because it really buys you the opportunity when it comes to seeding. It's a game that's going to age well, and that's worth repeating. Tennessee needed that. They needed a win that was going to age well tonight, and that's what you have. In terms of when you look at the league, we kind of did this last week on the blog, but we had Tennessee ranked 4 last week. It went Vandy, and simply because they're undefeated, and they are the metrics darling, like Matt said, but let's just put them there at 1 for now. Bama's 2, Florida's 3, Tennessee's 4, Georgia or Arkansas 5. I think those top 5 teams are probably going to be grouped together. And I'll tell you what, that Kentucky club has a ways to go, man. They've got a ways to go. And I don't know how many teams get in. I still don't know how good
Georgia is.
Yeah, I don't know how many teams out of the league get in. It's going to be interesting.
They're coached by Mike White.
I understand.
Yeah, I think we need to be Houston fans the rest of the way and Louisville fans the rest of the way. And even those games with the teams we lost to, those were tight losses.
Sure.
I think it sets up nice for us. And I love to see the development. Like you said, the big men play this year. I didn't realize how fun that could be to watch because you just haven't seen it a few years at that level of quality. And the rotation, it's been really great.
Well,
Looking
Pete,
forward to it and go Vols.
You're a ball knower, my brother. It's always good to talk with you. Pete in St. Louis, one of our mainstay ball-knowing callers down through the years. Always good to hear his voice. 865-200-5402 as he jumps off a line available for you. With the thousands and thousands listening tonight, it's Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. More calls after this. Get you back momentarily to Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza, your Garza Law firm, online at garzalaw.com. Whether it's DUI, defense, criminal defense, or personal injury, or maybe Social Security disability, Garza Law has you covered, as they've got tremendous folks that are a part of this community. They live, work, and worship right here, and you want to trust Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm. Online 24/7 and available for you at garzalaw.com. And Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all the Vol fans on your shopping list this season. Nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree, maybe a nice polo shirt, maybe a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Check out Alumni Hall, the best selection of Tennessee gear. 3 Knoxville locations, 1 in Bristol, 1 in Johnson City, 1 in Murfreesboro, and anytime at alumnihall.com. Have yourself a big orange ho-ho holiday and enjoy the season from Alumni Hall, the ultimate volunteer shopping experience. And how about a shout out to our friends at Calhoun's, the taste of Tennessee. Of course, you know about our Friday tradition there during football season, but Calhoun's makes it a tradition all year round. And remember, their family packs at the holiday time of the year, they've got you covered at Calhoun's, and boy, do they. Go over to tclub.team, check out the link, or head over to their website and see what they have to offer. But absolutely incredible. Calhoun's, there's one near you. And remember, whenever you're hosting during the holidays, Calhoun's, a party platter, always a great way to go. They're going to take wonderful care of you at Calhoun's. And shout out to our friends at Connexial, Knoxville's own transportation logistics tech company, proud sponsor of the My20 Drive of the Game right here on our Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. Connexial, revolutionizing your trucking industry nationwide right from their downtown Knoxville headquarters. We're going to have safer roads, improve the safety scores of your fleet, make drivers happy, maximize your profitability. KONEXIAL.com. And now, without further ado, let's get back to the busy show here on Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. It's a show as we welcome you back. 865-200-5402. Making it look easy. Tennessee has Brian Hartman. What would you call the next couple of games here up on the mic?
Well,
how would we term these, Brian?
They're going to have an opportunity to extend their winning streak because the next two games, Sunday and then the Tuesday after Christmas, are going to be against teams that are combined 1-24. Gardner-Webb is 1-12. South Carolina State is 0-12 on the season.
Does Tennessee baseball have a chance to schedule those teams for non-league, Matt? Can we look into it? 1-24. Is that what you said?
Yes, and they both been blown out by Queens, who's getting blown out by Arkansas right
Quoting
now.
The great Brian Williams, sheesh. Let's go back to the phones. 865-200-5402. College basketball is pretty soft across the board, obviously, and there will be some rough teams in the league. I wonder how many teams from the SEC go this year. Looks like a kind of an off year in the league, obviously. Hi, welcome in. You're on Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. It's Tennessee basketball overtime. Hi.
Hey, Dar.
Hey, Philly.
How you and the boys doing?
Philly, we're hanging in, brother.
Well, you guys got the graduate Barnes, great game plan. He's totally outcoached Kelsey, and it helps that Louisville's best player didn't play tonight, but they still kicked their butt.
No, he abused him. That was a great plan they had, Phil. When they came out and were not letting that guard breathe at the top of the key, that was it, man.
Yeah, and the strength of their team is inside, so they got to go inside, then you go out.
Yes.
We got to do it the rest of the year. Got to hope some of these young guards develop and help them a little bit.
Yes.
And Amari Evans, is he going to help them any now?
I mean, Phil, he looked like he helped them a little bit tonight.
He sure did.
You know? And the truth is, you know, they like him for his defense and his energy. But if you can get 7 points out of that guy, hell, man, that's a real bonus.
Yeah, you got to get every bonus you can. It'd be nice if that Israeli guy could start hitting some threes.
Yes.
I mean, that was a beautiful three he hit tonight.
It really was, Phil. And I like seeing him get a little confidence. I made a note of that for the blog tomorrow. We need to see that kid see some shots go in these Crip games heading into league play. It's a great development.
If you look at the SEC, Tony, I think Arkansas's best team, hands down. Look what they've done. I mean, you know, they almost beat Duke, and they've, you know, beat everybody else, and they're pretty dang good.
Yeah, I think that's. Look, I'm going on based on what the computers are saying about Vanderbilt, yada yada yada. But there's no doubt about it that Arkansas team. Well, they traded up when they let the Flan kid go. and he's struggling at Florida
exactly
so
right.
far.
Yeah.
That's called trading up.
Well, Kyle Perry's he knows how to do it, trading up or trading down or whatever you want to call it.
What did he do when he left Kentucky, Phil? Was he trading up or trading down?
He's trading up.
Interesting.
They actually appreciate him over until, he does the same thing there he did at Kentucky, go 2 or 3 years not doing anything, and they'll be upset. But Arkansas looks to me like they're really putting the money into it. Kentucky actually tried to win in football, and that hurt Kyle Perry when he was at Kentucky. The NIL stuff.
Well, they put a lot of money into their team. They're just not getting the results out of it.
They're north of $20 million, Phil, in their payroll.
How much NIL does Tennessee put out there, Tony? You know that off the top of your head?
No. Mm-mm. But this payroll here got expensive. I would say this payroll, I could do the math. I would say, well, one of the transfers and one of the signees, that's $6 million right there. I bet that Tennessee team's north of $14 or $15 million, something like that.
Wow. It'd be nice if they could get it spinning there. Me and got them a shooting guard, which they need real bad on this team.
Well, yeah, they tried, Phil.
I know they tried, but
they know it.
Hopefully they're going to do something about it next year, because there's going to be the same thing again next year. You're going to have a good inside game, and you're going to have to get the guard play to win for you.
Yeah, they are going to be fine next year. They're not. These guys aren't going to sit pat. These guys have been very aggressive and very good in the portal. They've worked it really well.
Did you see that white guy from North Colorado? Or if Doc Connecticut gave him to come here? You see that guy scored about 30 on Texas Tech.
Hey, the pipeline's open, man. The pipeline's
He's what we
open.
need, a damn shooter that can hit shots. I mean, that's what we need here.
Well, that's why we need the Berg guy to heat up. We need somebody at that 2 guard just to make a few shots, man. It would really help if Berg had a few go in, again, in the non-league, gets a little confidence going to Arkansas.
What do you think Tennessee will go in the league if you're a betting man? What do you say about 10-8 in the SEC?
I was thinking like 11-7, but 10-8's a possibility. How about you guys, panel?
I think 12-6 ceiling, maybe.
Yeah, 12-6. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Yeah, that's the high water mark, Bri. What do you think, Matt? Because it's hard to win on the road in this league. Just as.
Yeah, three or 4 games above 500. So yeah, what is it? 11-7.
Yeah, that's something like that. Yeah.
So you're probably going to end up being 8 or 9 seed then, or 7 and 8. Depending on how the year gets out.
Yeah, we'll see. If you have the right wins, Phil, and no terrible losses, I mean, you could be a 6 or a 7 seed, 6 seed maybe, 5 seed maybe.
Yeah, if you improve at the end of the year, because we're really.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've showed improvement all year. We've really looked bad the whole year.
I agree with that, Phil. Yeah, I agree with that.
So you're going to be out at Smoky Mountain Brewery in Maryville Friday, Tony?
On Friday, my brother. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm going to come down there and see you.
Go!
Hold the beer for me, okay?
Thank you, my man. Yeah, the first one's on me, Phil. The second one's on me, and the third one's on me.
I think Tennessee's going to be a really good team at home. I don't see them losing more than once or twice, maybe.
Yeah.
I think tonight showed that.
I have trouble with when you start talking about what seed you're going to be, because I don't know what the rest of basketball is going to do. It's still a young season.
They were a 5 seed going into tonight. So if they win this game tonight, that means that they have a pretty good chance to even go up from there.
Well, the league's not going to do you any favors, though, Bri, is the point. And if the team finishes, say my first instinct was right, and they go like 12-6, something like that, 11-5, something to that nature. Or I'm sorry, 12-6, 11-7, something of that nature. They'll be probably 5-6 would be my guess. Yeah, that's probably about right. The problem is we need Kentucky to be a little better than they are, and they're not. We need Florida to be a little better than they are, and they're not. But hey, you go to Arkansas and get a win early in the year, you're gonna have a real opportunity there. And by the way, we're live with you. Go ahead.
Well, as I say, something Philly said, it's kind of just a college basketball as a whole thing, and honestly, probably college sports as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Brian or somebody made a good point talking about Arkansas, how they have been pumping a bunch of money in there, and talking about the payroll and everything. And in my mind, I thought, I wonder if it's his most expensive payroll yet, which then made me think, well, I wonder what's Tennessee's most expensive payroll yet. And then I kind of thought, well, I guess every year it's probably that year. And
yeah,
not yet, but here in like 4 or 5 years, if nothing changes, it's going to be interesting on how you kind of compare, because as fans, you're not going to have it. And with what you do, Tony, on a daily basis with the show, it's going to come up as far as, instead of just looking at recruiting rankings going, okay, well, how does this compare from a salary standpoint? Tennessee really means business. Well, how do you know? Well, they spent more money than they ever spent before. You're going to have to go back and go, like, somebody is going to have, like Steve or somebody that's like crazy with numbers, going to have to put something together where it's like it takes into account inflation of when NIL started and when it ended. Because, you look at a Nico, a guy like that commanding a few $1 million a year just 2 or 3 years ago, that was groundbreaking. And now it's kind of run-of-the-mill transfer. And so it's just kind of with college basketball, thinking about putting these rosters together, it can be hard to judge how much. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? Sorry, I'm getting wordy, but
no, you're fine. Yeah, and C sent me
it's just
stuff
interesting because
right now.
I don't know how you judge it going forward when you look it back at the hands of time.
There is no way to judge it, because here's the thing: we don't know the exact figures. Like, I was trying to dig tonight. I'm going to have some stuff in the blog tomorrow about quarterbacks. Everyone wants to know who's your quarterback. Here's an issue. You got some teams that are spending like drunken sailors, and you got some teams like Tennessee that are kind of sticker shocked. It doesn't mean Tennessee's not going to take the plunge for one of these expensive guys, but they're sticker shocked. But I want to go back to the seed here, because Seed just chimed in with us. Let's go ahead and go back to our phones. As we get our next call in, it's Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Tony, how's it going tonight?
Hey, welcome in. Appreciate you calling.
Yes, sir. Hey, real quick, you guys are talking about the SEC schedule and where we'll wrap up at, or projections. Take Bishop Boswell out of this equation. Where do you think we end up then?
I don't know. I guess he's key. I don't know. What you think he's a valuable player?
Yeah, I think he's the glue, man.
Glue?
I think he's a big component with his toughness and what he brings every night. Like, showed up again tonight, just like he did to Houston. Like, I think he was the toughest player on the court.
Yeah, so I think you're right. I'd like him to be able to make a shot or two, but you are right. There's no question that he's getting the most out of what he does. He's not afraid to stick his head in there. He's a perfect Barnes player in a lot of ways. Obviously, they tried to recruit over him. They tried to get a 2-guard several times, and they weren't able to do it. And who knows? Maybe unanswered prayers would be a good thing,
Yeah, I think just the little things. Like, there was one offensive rebound he got, and instead of kicking it out or resetting, he stuck his nose in there, as you said, and put it back up and in. I just think he does the little things that'll make a difference in a tournament game come down the line, just like against Houston.
You know, that's a good point. He aggravates the hell out of people. I know that. Because in the modern game, you don't see kids that are willing to stick their heads in there the way he is. And he does have an old school kind of way about him. So maybe I need to start looking at that kid in a different light. Maybe you just opened my eyes here.
I don't know about that. I'm just touting the guy. I just think he brings that tough nose edge that that Barnes looks for, and that we as Tennessee fans look for as well. Versus, I will say this though, I am getting tired of hearing Jimmy Dykes and the people on TV. Yes, Nate Ament isn't strong enough yet, but they just keep calling it out. Like, he's young, he's got to grow, and for whatever reason, it just feels like we get the 5-star freshmen that aren't quite ready, I guess is the best way to put it, compared to some others.
Our 5-star guys they always have something really glaringly wrong with them for some reason.
Yep.
I mean, this guy looks like he's never touched a bench press before. No offense to him.
Agreed.
They were ripping the ball out of his hands tonight. And look, he's a marvelously skilled player. I see why Barnes wanted him. He's tantalizingly good. Go ahead, Matt. Jump in there. Whoever's mic's open there.
He plays too tall, according to Coach Dykes.
What Dykes? What was that?
He plays too tall, which I get what he's saying. It just sounds funny to hear him say it.
He's such a goof.
I think I'm kind of getting tired of the hearing everybody saying, "Well, he's got to get stronger. He's going to get stronger." Well, obviously he's got to get stronger, but I mean, you're not going to get strong. I mean, it's not like this guy's got an off season to get stronger. You're playing games. You're running around. You're not going to get stronger to where you need to be between now and the end of the year. But what you can do is you can have the game slow down for you, and I think that's your hope if you're Tennessee, because he's not going to add 20 pounds to the bench press, but a few of the things, it's not as much strength as it's just an awareness. Like today, just kind of being casual with the ball when you get a rebound and there's pressure in the backcourt and you're not paying attention behind you and somebody comes and pokes the ball out. Like, if you've got stronger hands, maybe you can hold on to that. But you can fix some of this stuff with just better awareness and the game slowing down, and that has to be the hope, because you're not going to get stronger between now and the end of the season.
I wonder, though, and I already know the answer to this because the NBA is going to take him because they value his skill set. But, man, I watch him, and I'm like, man, he's a couple years away from playing at that level, just with his physical prowess. When you watch those guys play and you look at him, I mean, he looks like a little kid out there. He looks like a little kid on a college court. I can't imagine what he'd look like if he was on an NBA floor right now. But that's part of it. It's what they do. They take guys way before they're ready. And the sad thing is, if you jump into that before you're ready, you could be a one-contract guy. There's a lot of people that did that. They go because they're pressured to go to speed your clock up, and you got to go. But there's a fine line there. If you go before you're really, really ready, you could end up in the bus leagues. So,
I think for me it's tough. Like similar to Boswell, like he can't add 20 pounds as the commenter said. He's got to get tougher though.
Yeah,
as we get in league play, he's got to get tougher.
Yep,
no doubt.
Well, the league
he can't get stronger in 24 hours.
No, the league.
But he can get tougher and more gritty. And that's what I'd like to see out of him, so I'll hang out and listen.
Thank you, my brother. Yeah, the thing about getting the ball ripped out of your hands, that's just going to happen to him because he's just not there yet physically. All right, so Tennessee's payroll is a little north of $10 million. That's the math. Kentucky's payroll is north of $20 million. And they're really upset up there, Matt, with their club. They don't like their team. I like our team a whole lot better than their team, and they're spending twice as much, Matt.
Yeah, they just have a bunch of role players.
Yep.
Like they don't have that like an elite college guard. I mean, Owe was probably the best player last year, and he looks like he's sort of halfway checked out. I think they have locker room issues up there, more in addition to not being a very good, talented team.
I think BYU checked out.
I don't think Pope can handle a locker room very well with a lot of egos that it seems like they probably have.
Pope seems out of his depth, Matt.
At that gig. BYU checked up.
What's that mean, Bri?
Well, whatever Calipari did, you say traded up.
Oh, traded up. Yeah. 865-200-5402. And we continue. What does Torvik say? What does Ken Palm say? What do they say? What's Tennessee tracking toward? What are they predicting? We'll talk about that, get some more calls in, and wrap this, whatever I'm trying to say, episode up right after this. Going to get you back momentarily to this exciting, action-packed episode of Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by my man, Marcos Garza, and your Garza Law firm, online at garzalaw.com. Whatever you need in matters of law, they've got you covered at the Garza Law firm, online at garzalaw.com. Pop over there. They're available 24/7 at garzalaw.com. Also, shout out to our friends at Calhoun's. They are, ladies and gentlemen, the taste of Tennessee. Remember, the Feed the Family for the holidays holiday packs are available for you. Special shout out, ladies and gentlemen, to my friends at VIP Play. You bet $20, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. Again, TN Tony. VIP Play live always. 200 plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. If you have a bet in mind and you can't find it on your book, check out VIP Play, because everybody gets treated like a VIP over at VIP Play. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. Shout out to our friends at Connexial, Knoxville's own transportation logistics tech company. Proud sponsor of the My20 Drive of the Game. What's it gonna be tonight? Or have we announced it already? Connexial, your transportation platform as a service, revolutionizing your trucking industry nationwide. The goal is to help your fleet be more efficient, make drivers, make our roads safer, take control of your fleet, improve your safety scores, and make drivers happy. Shout out to Wichita, Ken, Kristen, and the whole gang. They will treat you like family, because they are family. KONEXIAL.com. KONEXIAL.com. Speaking of family, the guy that keeps it insured here in the Rainier studio is Josh Collins. Through Erie Insurance, everything from pillar to post in here, our entire setup is insured through Josh Collins and Erie Insurance. You will experience the Collins Insurance difference online at collinsinsuranceTN.com. And when it's time for us to go for dose, we don't go for trace, we go for dose. We reach for an ice-cold Dos Equis. Dos Equis Lager Especial, the Golden Pilsner style beer made from the choice of hops. A balanced composition, smooth, clean finish. Party guest, always invited, never overstays his or her welcome. A Golden Pilsner style beer, nuanced blend of malts and earth tones. You gotta taste it to believe that. Go for Dos Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. And a special shout out to my friends at Performance Medicine. How do we keep these hours? How do you do it, Tony? How you're just crazy. I mean, it's nuts. You're working so hard. I don't know about all that, but I'll tell you this right now. My friends at Performance Medicine, you want to take control of your wellness? You want personalized health solutions that'll fit your life? You want an approach to medicine that puts you first? You want comprehensive, proactive solutions empowering you to achieve optimal health on your terms? You want Performance Medicine. Online at performancemedicine.net, and check out their YouTube channel over at Performance Medicine. And now, without further ado, let's get you back to today's edition of Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime. Shout out to my man Mark Griffin. Hey, Mark, you keep getting better. We love you. He's listening to us. Shout out to you, Mark. Appreciate you answering the bell today and putting us up a Griffin's three-pointers. There's an interesting discussion going on over on our YouTube channel at Tony Basilio, over on Tony Basilio's show over at YouTube. There's a ball knower in here, James Daniel IV, who's educating some people, Matt. There were some people in there popping off on McNeely, and he said, hey, look, this guy would have been a really nice player in Rick Barnes' offense. I really believe that about Isaac McNeely. I think that's the guy they wanted. After their first option didn't work out, he was the guy they thought was going to be really special. And it's a shame it didn't work out because, as James is saying, Tennessee would have run stuff for him. They would have found creative ways to get that guy shots, and he would have flourished in this offense. I don't hold against him that he's in a little bit of a shooting, a little bit of a tough stretch here, Matt. It's got no bearing on me in terms of judging him as a player.
Well, it was a blowout against Memphis, so they didn't really need him. Then he didn't have his point guard out there tonight, and he can't really create his own shot. So, but no, he's a really, really good catch and shoot guy. Not quite as good as Chaz Lanier, but kind of he'd be the Chaz Lanier kind of replacement level guy on this team, which is desperately needed.
Yeah, and that's kind of
who did you say the YouTube commenter was?
James Daniel III played here, didn't he?
Is that the guy that played
James
for Barnes?
James Daniel IV. James Daniel IV, not the third.
Yeah, I think it is. There's a guy that played here with that name, I think.
Jaybird, Tony. You called him the Jaybird back in the day.
James, is that you? James, get in there and tell me if that's you. Are you James Daniel IV? Yep. Dave's saying James Daniel played at Tennessee on the 17-18. No wonder you're a ball knower, James.
A Jaybird and a Willie Carmichael reference in the same night.
Let's freaking go.
Incredible.
James Daniel.
Unlike Willie Carmichael, I think James Daniel led the NCAA in scoring one year.
Yes, he did.
At whatever, was it Howard? Maybe?
Let's go to the phones. Apparently he's in the chat bleeding orange right now. We'll get our next call in. Hi, welcome in. You're on Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. Hi.
Tony B, how you doing?
Hey, good to talk to you.
This is Nick from Knoxville. I jumped on here kind of late. I'm sure it's already been mentioned, but I thought Nate Ament looked great tonight, and I thought he looked like he's really coming along, even though he's still got some ways to go.
Yep.
And also, free throws, man, that's one of the quickest ways to get beat and one of the dumbest ways to get beat, definitely in March, too. But I thought we looked really good, though. I kind of figured we'd come out that way, but really wanted to see the game with them at full strength, Louisville. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Win.
I agree with you. I was disappointed tonight to learn, as we learned, that Mikhail Brown did not make the start. He's an excellent player. Those that haven't seen him, he's averaging 16 and 5 assists on the year, and he just really makes their offense go. And without him, and with what Barnes was doing to their backup, their poor backup guard had zero chance in that game tonight. Zero.
Yeah. And last thing, as I out the door, the rotations, man. I know it's probably already been mentioned, but some of these rotations are just so strange. I just don't understand, even what he's trying to do with it. But you know what I mean? I'll trust Rick at the end of the day, but just crazy rotations.
What do you guys think? He's got an excellent point. And we've seen him do this, but there are combinations on the floor at times, guys, that just you kind of go, where's the scoring? And then what's the point, guys? And they did that a couple times again tonight. What do you think it's about, Matt? What do you think Barnes is trying to get at here in that staff? Because obviously they're doing this for a reason.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to figure out different ways to find the offense. Tonight it was kind of by necessity with Gillespie and Amon in foul trouble, and he's never going to play a guy with 2 fouls in the first half. But I think you ended the first half, or I think Alex mentioned that you kind of went on a little bit of a run, but you had Berg and Boswell, Amari Abram, maybe Para, and Carey out that. You had a bunch of, you didn't have any starters in it besides Para. Anytime Gillespie's not on the floor, kind of running things, your offense is kind of in jeopardy of having those 3 or 4 minute scoring droughts. But I just, it's kind of a welcome change. I don't really understand it or don't know what the upside is, but I like that they're kind of trying new things this year with a deeper bench.
Why not? And if you have to do it into early January, why not? If it takes you to mid-February to figure out who you are, why not? You really don't know your team and won't know your team. Go ahead, Al.
The only thing I can figure out, because I'm with the caller, I don't get it, and I'm not a fan of it, particularly the lineups where you just look out there and there's literally there's nobody scoring. Only thing I can kind of think out is if potentially, because Gillespie is so ball dominant and he just, his usage rate is so high, and even when he's not taking the shot, he's usually coming off the screen and half the shot clock he's dribbling it. is it potentially just forces someone else to step up. And for a team that so desperately needs someone else in the backcourt besides Gillespie to kind of take that step and take some initiative, you're kind of forcing, if he's not out there, forcing someone else to. And although it hasn't really worked, and again, it's ugly to watch. I mean, tonight you saw a few guys like Berg and Abrams kind of find a little bit of a rhythm.
Torvik has Tennessee. I want to go back here just to touch on a point people were talking about. First of all, I find talking about seeding this early in the year nuts, and it's not my strong suit, admittedly. So, but here's what C's telling us. Torvik has Tennessee going 11-7 according to his model, and getting the last 3 seed on the board, which is pretty surprising. The Vols are up to 11 at his site. That's Torvik. They're 15 at KenPom right now. The trick for Tennessee is, and we were talking about the significance of this game today, and this was lost on me, but C says that very few teams at the end of the year are going to have wins that will compete with Houston and Louisville on that team sheet at the end of the year. He said there might be a handful of them. Might be. And that's C talking. An 8-9 seed, if Dave wants to be right, would mean a 7-11 record in league play. That's how you'd be an 8 or 9 seed. And he said, Tony, if they go 11-7 in the league like you think they will go, they're the last 3 seed. So that's pretty wild. The over-under in Vegas is 10.5 SEC teams, Bri, in the tournament. Now, I know what Jimmy Dykes would play.
That's still like the second most ever.
What would you play, Bri? Over-under is 10.5.
I was thinking somewhere in the 8 to 9 range, so I would probably go under.
That. Yeah, I agree with that. But who knows? As we marvel at every year, because, Matt, this used to be our basketball program, right? We used to sit there and have to get the bracketologists on and beat the hell out of them and say, hey, why aren't we higher? And what about if this team loses to that, and you get to the bottom of that field and you're like, shit, man, if you can't get in, forget about it. There's a lot of bad teams that get into the NCAA tournament. We'll go back to the phones, though.
The bubble teams are not as good as they used to be.
No. The bubble ain't what it used to be.
They wouldn't even – yeah, and they're wanting to expand it.
Well, that'll really be awful. That'll really be horrible. But we'll go back to our phones. Yeah, the whole concept of an 8 or a 9 seed, I mean, I was thinking 5 seed earlier, and even that's wrong. So Vegas is saying that the total is 10.5 on SEC teams. And Matt, if I made you play that number, what would you play?
So that means you need 11 in?
Yeah, 11, yep. A lot of teams, man.
Probably play the under.
Yeah. And Justin Anderson's pointing out, and I was looking at this game earlier, that Mississippi State team is ugly. They almost lost to Long Island tonight. Alex, are they the Long Island Tees? What is Long Island?
They have a really good player, Josh Hubbard, down there still, too. So that's
Long Island Sharks.
The Tees.
Come on, Tom.
The Long Island Tees.
I don't know, but I don't know why you guys are so worried about having enough spots in the tournament. I mean, Jimmy's jet, I think he got a trade-in value. I think he's got like the Airbus A380. I think we could fit a few more teams on there.
Back to the phones we go. I love Jimmy. Jimmy's never met an SEC team he wouldn't shill for. Of course, I'm sitting here with a bubble hat on tonight, but looking like I'm literally, well, never mind. Let's go back to the phones, and we'll get our next call in on Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Tom, KT in Upstate. How's it going?
Hey, KT. Good to hear your voice, my friend.
Hey, man, I'm glad to hear you're keeping up with the bit when I said that Bird was a church league player.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, when he fired that shot tonight and kicked his leg out, I thought of Bino over there at Spurgeon Chapel.
Man, it's like he hit a buzzer beater against East Knoxville Baptist there.
Yep.
He was celebrating.
I love seeing that kid needs balls to go in for him, really. That's what needs to happen in this next couple games. Let's just hope Tennessee shoots the ball well and they don't have to resort to laying the ball in against these teams. That really needs to happen. They need to start shooting the ball better.
He made those 2 shots, but like that was a couple of drives with the McNeely kid and another guy that he was on roller skates. He was on his rear end twice tonight.
I love me some Berg, dude. Yeah.
He's going to have to make more than 2 shots to keep him on the court.
Yeah.
He's a huge, like Vescovi was kind of a defensive liability when he first showed up. This kid's on a whole different level of he can't guard the ball.
It's pretty next level, isn't it? It's pretty next level, isn't it?
I mean, it was a great win. Barton got those guys up. You could tell that they knew they had to have this game. But as good as the win feels, I'm concerned because you can't expect a 25-point night on these big games or SEC play from Gillespie. I mean, that's not going to be the norm, I feel like.
Problem with that lineup is, and we were talking with a caller about Boswell before, if Gillespie doesn't score like that, who else is scoring for you? Where's it coming from?
If you're down 1 point SEC play, like anybody on the panel, who are we giving the ball to? We don't have. I mean, who are you giving the ball to?
Matt, what are you doing?
That basket for?
Where are you going, Matt? Who gets the ball, Matt?
If Gillespie's not an option.
Well, no, Gillespie's an option.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's either Gillespie or Amen.
Yeah.
Or maybe Estrella.
But here's your point. Here's the caller's point.
Jesus.
If Gillespie doesn't score.
Jesus, Brian.
If Gillespie doesn't score or has a rough night, who's going to pick you up? They really are relying on him, man.
Yeah, he was big in this game. He was big in Houston.
Yes.
But it's not been the norm for this. I mean, he's done good against the D3 teams or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, in the big games, he's only had 2 games where he's done this. This is not the norm, and I don't think we can expect this throughout the year for him to be putting up 25 on a day-in, day-out basis.
Great point. Yeah.
Why is Australia only getting, like, less than 10 minutes a night? Is he still like nursing the leg?
He's beat up. He
okay.
10 minutes. Look, they don't need him. They know who he is. They know what he's going to do. The idea is to keep the wheels on him. Keep the wheels on the guy. So.
Yeah, I was surprised. I looked at the box score and he only had like 8 minutes or something. And, the one guy, the clown, announcing, comparing him to Kevin McHale or whatever, which he's got a lot of upside. But, yeah, we need him healthy and we need him to get more than 8 minutes a night if we're going to have a chance at making a run in the tournament.
He's really, and I appreciate the call. He is a gifted player, man. There is no doubt about it. I'd love to see that kid get a run at it fully healthy. I like to see what he looks like. Because if he's out there and he's kind of gimpy, as he's been, he's damn good this year. And I'm not sure he's been 100% at all this year. I mean, this guy has a lot of ability. Kevin McHale, I mean, I don't know about that. Jimmy doesn't like to throw out, Matt. It's comparing guys to Hall of Famers.
I think that was the other guy.
Oh, was it?
I wonder how many Grateful Dead concerts JP Estrella's been to.
Interesting. Let's go back to our phones. Hey, yeah, Al.
On the health, real quick.
Yep.
Do we know Ament? Is he fully back? I know that 11-day break, I'm sure, was at least a little bit helpful. Is he fully back, or is he still a little dinged up?
No, I think the foot deal is cleared up for him, I haven't heard in terms of I know there for a while it was bothering him. He looked like he was back to himself, like what we saw a couple weeks back. So, and I didn't hear coming into this thing that he was still, gimpy. So, it looks, guys, like Matt's. I think Matt's right. I think the experimentation's going to continue with this team, and I'm not sure that's a bad thing. And I do think, to Matt's point, I think it makes the thing a little more interesting now. All these crazy combinations that are going to drive us nuts, and these Crip games coming up, and what they're all for. Crip games, what are they good for? Absolute, I don't know. What are they good for? They got to grow their team.
So, Rick Barnes had a conversation with Ethan Berg 40 minutes over the phone the other night, said that I told him exactly what I felt, how I felt, and what I thought he needed to do, and he came out and he responded, which is interesting.
I love Barnesy. Coaching guy. He's not afraid to coach, man. Not afraid to coach.
I just felt bad for that GA or whoever behind when they told him to challenge that. Oh. And when they came back and ruled that it wasn't, they didn't call the elbow foul. I don't know if y'all saw, but that poor guy, I felt some serious sympathy for that guy as Barnes turned around, and you just knew that Barnes was getting ready to rip the guy.
That's a really good point, Al, because they count on those guys. But Barnes also leaned into that official, and I think Barnes had a good point on that. And I also think, we were talking about this Boswell guy gets under people's skin because of the way he's like a human bruise out there. It looked to me like that should have been called. Obviously, if the game's closer,
I agree.
Yeah, but I don't blame them for challenging that. If the game's closer, we lost that game, we'd be really pissed about that. But of course, it's lost in a 20-point win. All right, boys, it's been a lot of fun. It's 11 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone, and that's about enough fun for me for one evening. 90 minutes of this. That was great. Does anybody have any final thoughts as we go around the room?
So South Carolina State is the last remaining team in Division I who hasn't won a game yet.
Thank you, Bri. Appreciate you sharing that.
They'll be in December 30th.
Little water cooler stuff.
Do we have
for
an
you?
early line for that game, Brian?
I'll go Vols minus 38, Matt. How's that sound?
Actually, Gardner Webb, Ken Palm has 95-57.
Okay.
In South Carolina State, they have 92-55.
Shit.
South Carolina State is 363, and Ken Palm, Gardner Webb is 362. And if you give me about, there's only 365 teams in Division I.
Where is what's it called, Bri? Bible study. What was the thing called, Bri, down there?
Biblical studies.
Matt, see if you can eyeball biblical study. One team.
I don't think they're a Division I team.
Ken Palm has them.
One team is 363 and one team is 362 that are coming in here.
Correct.
Mar from me.
And both play up tempo, so Tennessee's going to probably break the 100-point mark.
Yeah, let Kimmy Caldwell's kids come out in the second half and get some of that, as they say in the trade. You guys were incredible. It was a lot of fun. Matt, Bri, thank you. Alex, thank you, my brother. Yeoman work by you. Thank you to C tonight for helping us out as well. All the great callers we had. Dave. Hey, Dave, put on a happy face, bro, after a win like this. You don't have to sound like that, man. You sound like you ate a bitter apple. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. All right, boys, love y'all. Final score one more time. Tennessee defeats Louisville, ending the 3-game skid. The final, 83-62. Rick Barnes, absolutely with a masterclass. Barnes and his staff, a masterclass on Louisville tonight. And those folks at Louisville love their hoops. They're not going to be happy with their young head coach. And that's showing on the road tonight. I guarantee you that is the case. We love you. We appreciate you. For Matt Dixon, Brian Hartman, Alex Myers, I want to thank my friends at the Garza Law Firm and all the wonderful sponsors that help present tonight's Labor of Love. Check us out over at tclub.team. Again, check us out over at tclub.team. We're going to be breaking down the quarterbacks in the morning when the blog drops and just looking at some numbers because it is wild. It truly is wild what's happening in the quarterback market. The cost for these guys is shooting through the freaking roof. We love you. We appreciate you. I thank you. We'll be on with you following is it Gardner Webb, guys, on Sunday? Is that right? Sunday afternoon? We'll be live with you following
Gardner Webb.
Yep. We'll be live with you following the Gardner Webb game on Sunday right here where you're finding us. We appreciate you. Peace and GBO. Get better, Bino. And you too, Griff. We love you. And for those that were in their car or Zach in E-Town, I know you're heading back right now. Let me run this back for you on the application, as they say in the trade. I just felt like saying application. Let's run it back for you, Zach in E-Town. Give me a segunda, because I left my wallet in the El Segunda. All right, hang on one sec here. Zach Attack. All right, Zach Attack. Hang on, buddy. Hang on, Zach Attack. All right, hang on. Let me find this cord. Oh, man, I got to get the blog done. Wow. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. All overtime. Presented by Marcos Garza, the Garza Law Firm. Gillespie with 23 and Tennessee tonight. Tennessee absolutely reigns supreme this evening in a game where the star freshman guard from Louisville was not able, the Brown kid was not able to take the court tonight, and Tennessee smothered Louisville and never looked back, rolling tonight.